Hi, I'm Sherry Harlan Davis, program host for Reid Beside You. And today we are talking about donating blood. And our guests are Melinda Freak from the Community Blood Center and Linda Rutherford from Reid Health. She is our lab director. And welcome to you both, ladies.
Thank you very much.
And we're going to start with Melinda. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to your position.
Well, I was actually a coordinator for 10 years prior to working at CBC. And then I've been there as an account representative for almost 17 years.
Great. And Linda?
I am actually a second generation laboratorian. My mother worked in a laboratory. I am originally from the Richmond community. I grew up here, graduated from Richmond High School, never wanted to work anywhere else. And I've been associated with Reid Health for 36 and a half years now. And I've been lab director for approximately 8 months. And before that, I was the microbiology manager of the hospital.
Well, that's amazing, and that's a really great story on being a second generation lab employee, so that's interesting. Tell us a little bit about the relationship that the CBC has with Reid.
Well, Community Blood Center and Reid have partnered for almost 48 years, so that's been quite some time. And we do the monthly blood drives every Tuesday of each month, and then we hold Saturday blood drives as well as doing blood drives in Connorsville.
Okay. And one of the things I know that people are accustomed to seeing and how's that work when Reid and the Community Blood Center has a blood drive?
Typically what we do is we already have these set up through the organization, and we have for several years. We've had a long-standing relationship, as Melinda stated, with Community Blood Center. We used to have it on site, and then when we moved to this location, we began having actual blood drives on campus, the campus locations. As the need has arisen, we've expanded that to other locations. So we also have it in Connorsville. So basically, information sent out to either employees or the community about these particular blood drives. They can now schedule online, and they are well aware of most of ours are continuation of visits that they come quite often and usually schedule every 8 weeks. So we've been blessed with that. And we've just worked very closely with Community Blood Center, with Melinda's group, just to coordinate and try to fill the slots as to what the number of donations we can accomplish at a particular blood drive during those times.
And when you host a blood drive, is it just for Reid employees if you're at the campus, or how does that work?
No, it is actually opened up to the community. We try to acknowledge and send this out through our Facebook page. Also, Community Blood Center is very good about notifications to let the people in the community know that these blood drives are occurring. We just are hosting due to our size and because we benefit so much with these blood drives. It's just very helpful, and our staff is just tremendous about donating, and it's quite easy for them to donate if we do hold these at these locations, which was basically the reasoning behind us doing actually having them on campus, is to help the community with a nice localized location to do these, and also with our employees who know the benefit of donating blood.
Why is donating blood so important?
There's no substitute for human blood. Every second someone is in need of blood. It could be your parent, your spouse, your child. Donating blood is a gift of life.
And it's a continual need. So unfortunately, with accidents or oncology or our cancer patients, we're always in need of it. And Community Blood Center does not just donate for our location. There are other locations throughout the state and into Ohio, that they also give donations or give up the units for that we help collect. So it is not just for our distinct community, but it's also for our region that we provide blood supply.
And I know that with our partnership, I didn't want to neglect that the Community Blood Center had given a Crisis Hero Award of Excellence to Reid. Can you share a little bit about that?
So Reid was instrumental in the early beginnings of COVID in what was the convalescent plasma. So many of our employees that had turned COVID positive, or many of our patients, we worked with Community Blood Center. We allowed them or helped get transportation over there so that we could get those antibodies so that they could be utilized for other patients that were sick early on. And quite frankly, we were very blessed that Community Blood Center acknowledged our contributions to that cause. And we were very grateful to do that because, once again, it was a need, and it was the best treatment for patients at that time in the community.
And could you share what is convalescent plasma?
So basically, it is a antibody antigen reaction that happens when you're exposed to it. So it is basically, it's a human portion of, I don't want to say vaccine that helps you prevent from getting an infection, but it helps your body's defenses. It kind of fools the virus into thinking that you've already had exposures, and someone else's antibodies that they had are replaced within someone who's ill, and then it helps with that.
Well, thank you on that. But overall, who can donate blood?
Anyone 16 or older. At 16-year-old, you do need a parental consent. You do need to feel in good general health, and you need to weigh at least 110 pounds.
Then when they do, are there specific things to be a blood donor? And we have a slide that says to be a blood donor, and that you must be at least 16 years of age and be in good general health. The other thing is, what happens before you would donate?
Well, you'll go to registration, so you do need a photo ID at that time. And you need to make sure you drink plenty of water before your donation and make sure you eat good. After registration, you'll go on and you'll have a mini physical. So we'll check your temperature, your iron, your blood pressure, etc. And then once you pass that, you'll go in and you'll donate blood, which sometimes that's the quickest part of the whole donation. Now, the end is the favorite part, is where you get to sit for at least 10 minutes and you eat cookies and drink juice.
Now that's impressive right there.
Yeah.
I did see
Yes.
Another slide that has now become my favorite slide, that says that if you donate blood, it burns up 650 calories.
It does. You can lose up to a pound. Yeah. That's a good reason to donate. Yes.
So that's why we're saying that the food and water are so important. I know, and I've had people that would say, no, I couldn't donate because of I was underweight. I'd had a problem, but but the good news is that means that the screening process is working when they're going through the registration to see what is actually needed.
Yes. A lot of people do ask about if they've been vaccinated or if they've had a flu vaccine, and you can absolutely donate even the same day that you get vaccinated. So.
And I know it's because of the holidays and people are interested in looking and donating, whatever. So what's the current status of blood available to hospitals and patients nationwide? Do we know?
I don't have
Oh,
numbers. I don't know if Melinda does. I know that there's always a need for blood. The great thing about blood donation is that we do utilize everything that the person donates, from the whole blood to the platelets to the red blood cells. But there is an expiration date, and it's always continually changing. And then circumstances that happen throughout a region can also attribute to a need for blood, and it can take away from the inventory. As an example, the tornadoes down in Kentucky would be a huge example of where blood donations, I'm almost going to guarantee, that has stressed that region due to the fact of all the people that were injured and the need for blood. So there's never enough blood, I would think, to have in an inventory, because it's always going to be utilized.
Community Blood Center, with the natural disaster, we have started to ship blood to Kentucky. And so with the holidays coming up and people taking vacations, and blood donors are busy at this time. So this is a hard time for blood shortage.
One of the another thing is it's when the blood is donated. Can you share the different types of blood donations, like the red cells, plasma, platelets, and whole blood? What's the difference?
It depends on the usage and what the patient needs. But when a person donates, we can separate that out into the different sections, and then it is stored, and then we could utilize whatever the patient needs. So in the case of, say, a surgery or possibly an oncology patient that's getting chemotherapy, they more than likely will be getting the red blood cells that they need. Oncology patients, due to the chemotherapy, may need to utilize the platelets, which helps your blood to clot. And then the plasma, that is the liquid portion, many times that is used in the instances where there's an emergency or an emergent case, and that we need to replace fluids very quickly. And that could be in the case of a car accident, could be a cardiac patient that we're trying to replace fluids with. So it's just dependent on what the need is. And that's what I enjoy the most about the blood products and working when I would be able to work in blood bank, is that you're able to give what the patient needs.
So, donating can you share with us what's happening, like donating during the pandemic? And you had shared earlier that people can still donate even during COVID. Tell us some of the precautions that are being taken.
Well, the need for blood does not stop during the pandemic. So we have Community Blood Center. We still wear the mask. We ask each individual account. It's up to them whether or not their donors wear the mask. But we still are trying to keep our donors safe and stay 6 feet apart. We are bringing some things back. We've brought back, as far as our cafe area, bringing back some volunteers. We've recently done that. And everybody's really glad about bringing back homemade cookies and like that. So yeah.
Our donors that would present at our locations would be screened at the door. They would be required to wear masks till they get to their donation site. I am assuming they would wear masks during their donations. That process hasn't changed. I do think that there has been a decrease of donors who are willing or wanting to donate. And I don't know if part of that is just the fear of coming into the hospital due to the fact that there is COVID, but we are screening everyone at the door. The other concept, I think, also is that, it doesn't change the need. I think there's also information, as our facility is not doing elective surgery, but that does not change the fact that we still have the needs. The emergent surgeries, the oncology patients, are the ones who utilize the bloods that we do donate, and it may not necessarily be the elective surgery. So I think people somewhat may hear that aspect and think, oh, well, maybe I don't need to donate this at this point in time, due to the fact that they've postponed elective surgeries, but in some instances the need is greater.
So I just wanted to reiterate that the pandemic does not stop the need for blood.
Not at all.
Do you see high and low rises before the pandemic and based on seasons of people
Absolutely.
willing to donate blood?
Absolutely. Like I said, during the holidays, summer vacations, we have this year gone back to high schools. High schools are wonderful at helping with the blood supply, and they've done a great job stepping up and helping us out. But, vacations, the holiday is coming up where everybody's going to be off for 2 weeks. So our blood supply will go down, but we'll boost it back up, and we just try to stay busy as we can.
So we always hope that hopefully during the holidays before that, that'll be something people check on their to-do list that to make sure that they have donated their blood prior to that time. So it's never.
Well, and that's one thing I can't say enough about our donors. Our donors do a great job. If there's a need, they step up to the plate. So yeah.
I agree with that. If we have any slots open and Melinda lets me know when they're on our site, all I have to do is send out an email, and they're usually standing in line trying to donate. So we do have a wonderful community that knows the importance of blood donations and are very responding to that need for the community.
Do you have a story of donors that you could share? I know that you have some people that come quite that you can depend on, like yearly or quarterly. But is there one that's a story that sticks out?
We have donors that come every 8 weeks, but we have something that just happened not too long ago. Was I had a donor. He was diagnosed with cancer, and his wife called me and she said he is more upset that he has to stop donating blood than he is that he has to take treatment. And his treatment was recently over, and he is back as a donor. So, yeah, we've got wonderful donors in this area.
That's great. And I know, Linda, in-house often there's a prize attached, or a T-shirt, or sometimes just a very nice incentive. I know that from your emails. Can you share?
Yes. Well, Community Center also will give out, it may be a T-shirt, it could be a blanket, it could be, I think one year we had maybe scarves. Like I said, I've been associated with this organization and with Community Blood Center for a while as a donor. Prior to my taking on this role, I had predecessors that really embraced this relationship, and I took the torch over, and I have big shoes to fill from them. But like I said, this is a great partnership, and I would say there are gifts to entice. I mean, I would almost think the cookies and maybe the juice would be enough of an enticement. But if you can get a free T-shirt, I will say healthcare workers love free T-shirts. And we typically love food. So that's a great combo right there.
Well, the biggest gift that the donor is doing is they're giving the gift of life.
Yes, they are.
3 lives. So it's just a little incentive, and it's just a nice way of saying thank you. Or, so it might be a T-shirt, a blanket, a mug, but donors do love the gifts. So, yeah.
There's been a couple times I wasn't interested about it. Then I said, look at those really cool incentives. I think I need that T-shirt. So it's amazing how you change the T-shirts with different themes and in the difference of years, months. So I've noticed.
You'd be surprised at the donors that have put together quilts. We have beautiful quilts from donors that they've taken their T-shirts over all the years they've donated, and they've made some beautiful quilts with them. So yeah. It's an idea.
Definite idea. We have, and then you're out in, I know that one of the things, like being out in the community, Tell me about when you're not just at Reid, but when you set up clinics out in the community.
We are all over the community. We're at most all the churches. We do organizations, businesses such as Belden's and Neat and Auto, and we do, like I said before, high schools. There's several high schools in our area that does blood drives. You see on the screen, Richmond State Hospital. They're great about doing an every 8-week blood drive. We do blood drives in honor of patients, cancer patients, or possibly in memory of cancer patients. We stay very busy in the community, and we hope to be more and more places. So if you're interested in doing a blood drive, you just need to go on GivingBlood.org and check us out. So,
And along with that, actually, I have a good friend I spoke to with First Bank, and they shared that
yes,
it's sometimes it's a competition among the various departments on who's participating, who's donating blood. So they look forward to it, and they have a loyal base that they shared with me that participate in the blood drives.
oh, the First Bank does a wonderful blood drive for us. Yes, yes, they do. And actually, yeah, we'll be there soon. So in January is National Blood Donor Month. So that's why there's so many places that you can check onto. Once you go on to GivingBlood.org, there's a place where you can log in and you can put in your zip code, and it'll let you know the local blood drives. But you can usually find us just about everywhere. So yeah.
And that's if you're trying to get involved with CBC and they need to get in contact with you.
Yes, there again, you just need to go to www.givingblood.org.
And the other thing is that, and if someone sees this and says, I'm interested, I want to become a blood donor, is that the same? They can contact you through the GivingBlood.org information?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
And all your information about how old you need to be, your weight. There's a whole education part that it's a wonderful website. You need to check it out.
And you're always accepting new volunteers, correct?
Absolutely, all the time. Yes, yes. Never enough volunteers. Yes,
Great.
yes.
As well as with Linda and her army of Reid employees.
Yes.
Linda has done a fantastic job.
Yes, she has.
She did have big shoes to fill.
I did.
Great job filling them. So yeah, we have a wonderful blood drive first Tuesday of every month. Yep.
If I've missed anything, what's something that we didn't cover that you'd like people to know?
Well, I can't think of anything, Melinda. Can you?
I think a lot of people don't realize that cancer patients are the #1 users of blood products. So I think when that information gets out, we've all been affected somehow by knowing someone with cancer. And that's big news. People just seem to step up to the plate when they know there's children fighting cancers.
That's good to know, because often if someone is going through cancer and they have a cancer treatment and someone doesn't know what to say or how can I help you, I never thought about saying you could help by giving a donation, donating blood. And I don't think the average person is aware that that's an option.
Yeah.
So now they do.
Yes.
Yes, it
Now they
is.
do.
Well, we want to thank Melinda from the Community Blood Center and Linda Rutherford from Reid Health Laboratory and helping us and joining us today on Reid Beside You. And thanks everyone for joining us in this episode of Reid Beside You.